Is there anything more frustrating than finally having taken the leap to leave your 9 to 5, finally having taken the opportunity to be your own boss, to then realize that you are completely lost and things are rather ambiguous and confusing, but you don't know what to do? Let me show you 5 mindsets that have helped me to be the entrepreneur I am today and really easy to apply it in your own life. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello everyone, how are you? This is Ali White-Chick-Rojo, mom, wife, Latina, founder of Square One and the host of the Live Experiment Show. A space for you to experiment, to try new things, because guess what? Life is an experiment. We're here to try different things. You can change your mind at any point in your life. I just want to prove to you that you can redesign every single aspect of your life to be fulfilled, have the freedom and clarity that you need, and to also live a meaningful and fulfilled life. In this episode, I want to share with you 5 tricks or 5 mindset tricks, I suppose, that have really helped me. And one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of people now leaving their, 9 to 5s, or actually leaving, the roles that they've had because they realize that actually they're not happy, they're not fulfilled, is that there is a lot of confusion around entrepreneurship, let alone the strategic business elements of being an entrepreneur. But the really intrinsic components of actually you as the human being that you are, as the leader and as the founder of an organization, business, side hustle that needs to become something. And you've never done it. You don't know what you need to do next. And so it really takes an awful lot of inner growth and inner power to really navigate a lot of these early stages of entrepreneurship. And I want to share with you some of the things that have really helped me, and they have helped a lot of people that we have been coaching, and I'm pretty sure they are going to be really, really easy to apply. But I am also super sure that there are going to be things that you have already been trying or looking at trying, or things that are just really clear on maybe using them right now in your business. Leaving your 9 to 5 is already a huge step, and I congratulate you for that. I really believe that not everyone's passion is to have a job. Not everyone's passion is to actually be working for someone else. So for me, being an entrepreneur is just the most incredible, fulfilling, and meaningful life and career that I have. And I really want you to know that you've taken the right step. But with entrepreneurship comes a lot of growth and a lot of inner growth. And when we were in a traditional 9 to 5s, you probably realized that you were not spending maybe too much time on you. You were not really focusing on filling your cup. Things like mindfulness, maybe having a great habit and routine, exercising, and things like that, and eating well, for example, can actually have huge impact on your business. And for you to be the entrepreneur that you need to be, you need to have very clear mindsets that you need to use on a regular basis and almost use them as hooks. So you are able to really navigate a lot of the complexity of being an entrepreneur and being a business owner from day dot. Not everything that I did on day dot was pretty good. I was very confused, very lost. I was trying to build a business off the back of things that I knew, off the back of things that I learned, off the back of things that I had applied in my corporate life. And little did I know that I had to create almost like this resilient bank account. This resilient bank account was like everything that I knew I needed to invest in order for me to be pretty neutral, in order for me to accept different situations that were coming my way as a business owner, and to really comprehend things in a very sort of intuitive way. And so the 5 mindsets that I want to share with you, they have helped me immensely. They have helped me navigate phases in my business that have been very complex, very difficult to navigate, like losing my staff off the back of COVID because we didn't have a runway, like basically trying to regrow the Square One from zero after COVID. And things like that, they allowed me to really make sure that I was in a very good spot from a mindset perspective. And when you're very strong, you're able to really navigate everything. It's like almost like people have throwing punches at you, and you're just like, yeah, I am cool, I know what's happening, but I'm strong. For whatever reason, you feel really strong. So the very first mindset that I want to share with you is being comfortable with ambiguity. What does that mean? When we are in business, we don't know where we're going a lot of the time. We have a vision, we have a North Star. That could be, a strategic plan that you put together. That could be a goal that you set yourself to achieve over the next few months. That could be anything, but ultimately there is so many unknowns. What are the problems that I'm trying to solve? What are the solutions that are out there? Especially if you're brand new to entrepreneurship, you're like, what are the passions that I have now as an entrepreneur, as a business owner? And are they aligned with the kind of problems that exist out there in the world? Am I the right person to solve them? Is there anything else happening out there? What are the people that want to buy my products, services, or experiences want from me? And all of these can feel really overwhelming. And being comfortable in ambiguity basically really takes you to really pause and be very aware of this mess. In live redesign, this phase is quite diverging. You are diverging into a different sets of information and data, and that could feel really overwhelming and very chaotic. But it's you to remember that if you're comfortable in ambiguity, that means that you could go through. The way I describe this is like walking through a very foggy forest. Imagine that you have to get to the other side of this forest because you gotta be there. Maybe you're meeting some friends, or that is literally where your house is at. And there is no way around it. You cannot go right, you cannot go left. You gotta go through it. But it's very foggy and a little bit scary. You know, however, that on the other side is your house, or the destination that you are trying to get to. And as long as you know that for every step that you take, you're getting closer, regardless of the fogginess that is all around you, then you know that you're gonna get to the other side. Whether it takes you longer than you thought it was gonna take you, whether it still felt a little bit ick and not quite nice to walk through this foggy forest, but you did it. And that is what is being comfortable with ambiguity, is being very mindful that all of these things are normal. A lot of this information and sometimes overwhelming situations can be quite real, and rather than giving up, you are going to take baby steps along the way and get to the other side. Make sense? So that is what I call being comfortable in ambiguity, and that is my first step. The second tip is failure is not your enemy. Failure is your friend. Growing up, and especially in the corporate world, I found that failure was something that wasn't celebrated enough. Failure wasn't something that our parents wanted to talk about. We didn't want to talk about. We felt ashamed and sometimes angry and frustrated. And failure is one of those things that people do not see the value of. But let me tell you, failure could be your best friend. In business, we know that you need to fail fast to understand whether the thing that you're creating, building, or designing is going to be satisfying your customers' needs. Because let's be honest, without customers, you don't have a business. And if you realize very quickly that by failing very fast and putting ideas, solutions, products, and services together to validate them, then you are able to move so much faster along the way. What we don't know from our previous pre-entrepreneur life is that failing fast means to actually prototyping. Prototyping means putting the ideas that you have in mind, putting a website in front of people to see if they like it, creating a social media account, putting a sales funnel and see, for God's sake, if people are going to buy the thing. That is what is actually embracing failure, rather than going all the way, creating the end-to-end product, the end-to-end service, the end-to-end experience. You create something so very small that if it fails, is okay. You haven't spent tons of time, energy, and resources on it. And that is a mindset that if you were to embrace, oh my God, your life as an entrepreneur will be so much easier. I want you to think that everything from this moment forward that you're creating needs to be what's called a minimal viable product. Meaning that's going to be something so very small that you can put into the market to those customers that they want your products, they want your services. for you to validate whether that's going to be of their liking, whether they're going to pay for it. Because as we know, without customers, we don't have a business. So that is for me mindset number 2. Mindset number 3 is adopt an experimentation mindset. So that this is quite linked to step or mindset 2. But adopting an experimentation mindset is actually to realize that you will, across your career as an entrepreneur, your business will pivot, will change, and maybe at times will be reborn. Maybe at times you actually will not want to do that business anymore. I started square one doing consultancy and transformation around customer experience design, and I was doing consulting gigs. I was doing transformation projects and also capability around innovation, design thinking, and anything to do with things that were around human-centered design. And when I moved into the space of personal development and personal growth that I had now, I knew I need to start from zero. I knew that yes, we had a customer base of individuals that were part of our public trainings or corporate trainings, or were clients that use our consulting services. But I knew I needed to start from scratch, and these hurt a lot. I knew that if I had this experimentation mindset, I was able to actually start putting different things together. So I remember at the time of COVID, when I literally took this pivot, which was perfect, not quite perfect timing, I started putting webinars and different courses and little products out there to see if people wanted them. A few things were okay, a few things were not okay, but that was kind of what I tried. I really make sure that I was able to put things together just to experiment with them. And so when you have an experimentation mindset, that allows you to test. And remember that when you test something within yourself, whether you want to actually test it for yourself, because you want to see if you actually enjoy doing it, or you like the process, or you actually acquire good at it, you realize that 3 things would happen. Number 1, whatever thing that you're experimenting with will pivot. Like, for example, for me, I was experimenting with these webinars and these different mini courses, and a few things had to pivot. A few things I was like, I quite enjoy this part of the delivery, but this one people didn't like, so I need to change that. So the second part is the thing that you experimented with might perish. That means pow is not going to continue because it didn't hit the mark. Either you didn't enjoy it, which is very important. Enjoyment as an entrepreneur is very important. However, sometimes we got to do things that we don't want to do, right? In entrepreneurship, especially in the early days when you don't have all the budget and the resources to pay someone to do that thing, like bookkeeping or accounting. Like, for me, it's not a favorite part, but I do it because I don't have at the moment someone to help me with a lot of that. So experimenting allows you to see where the things will stop, but also things will persevere, meaning that thing that you experimented with is actually pretty good and people are going to buy it, people are going to use it, and you like it, you enjoyed it. So this is really important. I think in business, you got to really build a business that is around what you actually enjoy doing rather than what you think should be done. And that is a bit of an intuitive process that you got to think about. But essentially, you at a point in time got to realize that if you have various different experiments with your business, you will see that you like some things, you will see you don't like some other things, you will see people like some things and people don't like some other things. And eventually you sort of have this synchronicity where all of a sudden you notice that this is a path that you want to explore. Like for me, like doing live experimentation or live redesign was something I really enjoyed myself for my life, and I wanted to bring it out to the world, and customers also needed it. So it was like a perfect win-win situation. So that is what I wanted to share with you in terms of adopting an experimentation mindset. Number 4 is that your network is your net worth. What does that mean? That is socializing. Mindset of socializing is what I want to talk about. I'm an introvert, so I could just be at home hanging out by myself for a long time. But I knew I needed to start talking to people. And if you're not into socializing, this could actually have a detriment on your business. I kid you not, the many relationships that I built, even over a 5-minute conversation at a networking event, a meetup, an entrepreneur event, a webinar, whatever it is, a lot of those conversations have actually led me to moments in my business that have been very fruitful and very successful. Or even recently realizing that after 2 or 3 years, after meeting someone who I knew in the space of entrepreneurship and innovation, meeting for coffee, that led me to that person recommend me to a university here in Brisbane to run and facilitate a prototype workshop on design thinking. And then now for me to actually being called to run a lot of the entrepreneurial programs. So you don't know where these relationships are going to take you. And one thing that is really important for you to realize is that your family and your friends won't understand what the heck you're doing with your business. They won't understand why you're not going back to a 9-to-5. They won't understand why you want to be your own boss. And you have to believe in yourself, and you have to find people who believe in you. And a lot of these people are going to be entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in the making who are in a similar situation. I guarantee that if you find these people, you will find that sense of reassurance and that sense of trust that you need, because your family, they care about you. They really want the best for you, and they don't understand what the heck you're going through. And they're probably gonna, for the best that they think, we're gonna ask you, why don't you go and maybe take another job? Maybe this business thing isn't for you. Maybe being an entrepreneur is not for you. But you gotta stick to it. You gotta do it for long enough to realize, is it really for me or is it not? So socializing and really finding that net worth that you need through your networking is gonna be really paramount in the transformation that you need in your business, especially in the early days. And number 5, persistence. There is a thing called instant gratification, and you and I know what that is. That is actually wanting to buy something online, and after a few clicks, within maybe 3 minutes or less, we have bought a really lovely pair of pants. Or actually being unable to queue at the bank because everything that we do is online. So it actually feels really awkward to not have the instant gratification. Entrepreneurship doesn't have instant gratification. Does not have it. So you gotta be really persistent, and you gotta trust the process. That would really mean sticking to failures, sticking to moments that feel really unclear, sticking to moments that feel really ambiguous, and like you don't know where things are going. Things don't happen quick in entrepreneurship. If you hear of the overnight success, there isn't the overnight success. You gotta work strategically. I'm not telling you to work harder, because working harder doesn't necessarily give you the results that you need as an entrepreneur. You gotta work smarter and you gotta work strategically, but you gotta stick to the work. You gotta know that things will take time. If I asked you wanna get a six-pack, or you would like to have some toned arms, or you would like to climb Mount Everest, right? How long do you think you need to train for that? How long do you think it's gonna take you? You think if you go to the gym or go for a run a couple of days a week, that'd be enough? No, that's what I thought. So you gotta realize that it's gonna take time, and that is okay. It is part of the process and it's absolutely normal. You gotta remember that this mindset of really knowing that things will take a little bit longer, you gotta stick to it, is what's gonna make you be in the 1%. The majority of entrepreneur endeavors and founders that have ever existed have quitted. 95% or more of entrepreneurs to be or entrepreneurs fail, and they don't continue pivoting and transforming themselves. And I want you to know that if you do love entrepreneurship, even though you find it confusing, even though you find it hard, you will be in that 1%, and you will be successful in your own terms, whether that's fulfilling your passion, whether that's helping people in need in the world, whether that's having more freedom, whether that's having, more financial freedom to do the things that you want to do, whatever it is, you will be in that 1%, and you will be sweet because you did the work. You do the work. You know what that's like. You know that instant gratification entrepreneurship is not a thing, and you know that, and you will stick to the process no matter what. So that is what I wanted to share with you, my 5 mindset tricks that have helped me basically navigate COVID losing my staff, have no one to start square one from zero again, start from square one, pretty much. To this point, and actually being regrowing my business and having a very cool roadmap ahead of us. So that is what I wanted to share. Let me know in the comments, which mindset would you like to use, or which mindset have you used that have helped you? I would love to know. And as always, you gotta remember that the path ahead is the way it needs to be for a reason. Don't be discouraged. You are the light needed right here and right now. I love you lots, and I catch you next time. Bye bye. You know, that instant gratification of getting like a I'm ranting now.